Today's video will be talking about how to list your product on Etsy, and I'll be giving you a couple of tips as to how to get your listing seen on the first page. Okay, so when you log on to Etsy on your shop manager page, this is what your dashboard is going to look like. Mine's look a little different because my shop is on vacation mode right now. And up here, you're going to have the listings tab, and that's where you go to pull up your listing. Now, when you get into the page to pull up your listing, this is how it looks. This is what's on your end to show you how to put the listing up on Etsy and what you want others to see. This is where you can edit all those details. So the first thing is going to be the description. There's all of these words right here. This is the description, and I suggest that you use as many descriptive words as you can in order to list your product, because this is what's going to push you up, because these are literally the names that people are searching. So if you go over here, I typed in Mean Girls Inspired Tray, as you can see up there, and this is the first page on Etsy of everything that's Mean Girl inspired in trays with that description. So I clicked on one particular one similar to mine's, and as you can see in the description, Mean Girls Burn Book Tobacco Rolling Tray Vanity Tray. Now I suggest that if you're choosing to do rolling trays, do not add anything with the word tobacco, cannabis, weed, because it could possibly get your listings pulled. So definitely the word tobacco I would take out and not list in my description. But here we are back to the description page. So this is where you will type in all those letters, those words to give you a descriptive title. As you can see, they let you do 140 letters. So I suggest that you fill that up as much as you can, because the more descriptive words you use in the search bar for people to look you up, the better. And I promise y'all, I'm going to get a better phone to record, but like I told y'all, I'm going through this YouTube thing. I'm new. I don't got equipment yet, whatever. So with photos and videos, these are the photos. So you want to make sure that you have nice, clear, this one is mine's, by the way. You want to make sure that you have nice, clear photos. I try not to edit my photos, so when people get it, they won't feel like the photos have been heavily edited and what they got is not what they saw on the listing. So if I was to do this again, I would probably take this off, because that's another thing that signifies like cannabis or whatever, and that's something that Etsy will pull your listings for. So if you're doing these trays, try to stray away from anything that gives them a notion that it is cannabis related, because technically people can use the trays for what they want to use them for. I've had people use them for makeup and other things. So yeah, you want to get different angles with your pictures. I actually took these pictures inside of a shot box. It's a little small box that allows your camera to lay on the top, or you can take the pictures from the side, but the more angles the better, because this will also help you out if a person tries to like dispute that they didn't like the product or something. This is a part of the description, so you need to be very thorough in your pictures. Scroll down a little more, it's going to give you the thumbnail. So this is what people are going to see when they pull the listing up, when they search for the listing like this. This is considered your thumbnail. So of course you want to take the best picture that highlights your product, because you have to stand out among everyone else's thumbnail. So for me, the best thumbnail was that. And then you scroll down to the description. Now I've learned that in these descriptions, you need to be very thorough. You need to have an outline of the dimensions of your product, and something that if you want them to read it, you need to bring it to their attention, because like I said, when a person wants to dispute that they were not happy with the product, this a part of the description and pictures is what's going to save you. You can have shipping policies in here, return policies in here. You let them know, even if things like if you put your order in on a Friday, that it won't be made until a Monday. You have no control over postal delays. I'm not responsible for replacement of damaged trays unless they're damaged upon arrival. So just being very thorough in your description is what's going to help you in your dispute. Right here where it says if you have to have photogenic evidence in order to be able to get a replacement item sent out. So that's in my description, and it's something that I request in order to replace the item. And Etsy will honor that, because that's one thing that will safeguard you, is the fact that the customer is technically responsible for reading the description, and once they bought the product, they're pretty much acknowledging that they've read the description. And I will not refund was accidental purchase, because you'll run into that a lot sometimes on Etsy too. People will say that they purchased it on accident and want a refund. Well, it's clear and concise in my description that I do not refund for accidental purchases. So as you're on the platform, you'll learn different things to put in your description to safeguard you. Always put it there so you can refer back to it later. The next section is price and inventory, and this is just how many you have in stock at any given time, and it estimates your profits. And then as far as variations, I had a couple different variations with my rolling trays. So you could do the tray only for $15, tray jar and ashtray for $30, tray and stash jar for $25, tray and ashtray set for $25. So you turn on these different variations, and then when you give the person the variations, they will show up. So it won't just be like they can only purchase the tray. It'll give them a drop-down menu to be able to purchase these as different combinations of set. And if you're going to do a set, this is another thing I wouldn't put ashtray. I would put something like a dump jar, or just anything that is not tobacco related. And then as far as the details, you have to put in the details. So this is where you do like the hashtags and things, and then it's the category. So I put mine in books, movies, and music, and movies, because I know that it's specifically that by it specifically being a burn book tray, people were going to look up Mean Girls based on the movies. So this is where you have to be smart with your categories. And also my item was a unique item, and I put it in the movie and book category. So it pushed it further up. So you have to be very meticulous about what category you list your items in, because there could be the difference between you competing with 25 sellers or 2,500 sellers. So because this was based off of movie, I decided to put it under the books, movie, music, and movies tab, which it ended up working out pretty well. Primary color pink, secondary color white. Holiday, I always change this depending on what holiday is coming up. So like if it's closer to Christmas, I change it to Christmas. If it's closer to Halloween, I change it to that. Thanksgiving, I change it to that. Because again, those are things that people are typing in a description box when they're saying gifts for Christmas, Halloween ideas, or Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving gifts. So you want to change the holidays out as they come along to get you in the search bar better. And so then these are the tags that I was talking about. I always use the max amount of tags. And these are the things that are in your description, in your listing, that if people put in the search bar, go up in the search bar here, that your listing is going to pop up. And so even when people are searching for trays, rolling trays, gifts for her, gifts for him, Christmas, Mean Girls, pink, glitter, diamonds, customs, custom rolling trays, resin set. So when people type those in the search bar, your listing is in every single one that you have a hashtag in. Now, Christmas is one that I always keep in my description, because I feel like people shop for Christmas gifts all year round. You literally have people the day after Christmas that's shopping for next Christmas. So I always use all 13 hashtags. And let them be a relatable description. You don't want to go put something like children's toys in this category, because then you're just competing with a bunch of items or in a category that it's not even what the person is looking for. As far as materials, you always want to list the materials that you use. So paint, epoxy, paper, glitter, jewels. Just that's another thing to safeguard yourself and have buyer transparency. So if a person has and I know people probably don't have paper allergies, but if a person has paper allergy, you can say, well, it was listed in the materials, and it's the buyer's responsibility to read over the materials that are listed in the description. Here you have the shipping option. So I try to be as thorough as possible with these shipping, because that is another thing that adds to the cost of items, is the cost of ship. Because of course, if it's free shipping, there's something that you have to keep track of to pay for. So I always weigh my items out, and I always measure my items accurately. This was a 10 by 8.5, and then it was an inch tall. To try to, because Etsy will let you print out shipping labels. It's not a big difference from what like maybe the post office charge. It's less than what the post office charge, but it is not a big difference from what other third parties like Pirate Ship and things like that, their competitors charge. Etsy is kind of like, when they print you off, when you use their software to print off the shipping label, it is around the same ballpark as those. So I'm not sure if that's accurate, because like I said, I haven't been on here in a while, but it'll pretty much calculate the cost and let you know before you buy the shipping label if there's something that you want to purchase within Etsy. And when you buy, one of the cool things about when you're doing the shipping is that they will take it from the money that you already have that they're supposed to pay out. So they will take it from your profits, so it's not in separate out of pocket costs. But I did get to the point that I would set aside extra money from like working and stuff just to cover the cost of shipping, so that it wouldn't come out of my profits. So returns and exchanges, buyer is responsible for return shipping costs and any loss in value if an item isn't returned in its original condition. So you can go in and edit this however you like. You can give a window of how many days that a person has to return a product, or if a product is even returnable. So as you can see, they're listing this product this way. Did it did pretty great for me as far as my earnings. So the 10,000 visits are the visits that were drove to my Etsy page just based off of this listing. So 10,000 people saw this item and wanted to, just kind of click on the listing to explore it a little more. I ended up selling 166 units of this item, which resulted in $2,909.75 of revenue. And remind you, I sold on Etsy for just shy of a year. I think in the last video I said it was maybe like 8 months or something like that I was on Etsy. So in about the course of 8 months, this was my top selling item, and it brought in that much revenue. So as you can see, and the analytics is the analytics and how to read those behind your listing, and how you choose to list your products and to see if they're doing good or not based on what you list them at. That's a different video that we'll get into another day. But as you can see, they break everything down to show you how well tags went and keywords went. But this is just an overview, a rough draft video of how to list your items on Etsy and how to get more bang for your buck as far as advertising them. And I did not did I run Etsy ads? I don't think I ran Etsy ads, because I was a big stickler on profits. So if I'm not mistaken, I did not run Etsy ads. But as you can see, listing your product and giving it a great description name, giving it a great description, giving it great tags, good pictures, and safeguarding yourself, making sure you're calculating their shipping. Those are all ways to get the max value of your product as a seller on Etsy.